Hey guys, F-26 here, and it's been a while, hasn't it? But we're back today for highlights of the Japanese Grand Prix from Season 7 of the F1 League. And the reason we haven't uploaded at all really on this game is because it sucks, and I'm not very good at it, as will probably be demonstrated in today's video. But yeah, I didn't really record from Season 6, I haven't got much to upload from that, and this is the first race I've really done in Season 7 as a full-time driver. Because I've had exams recently. But yeah, as you can see, we have a full wet qualifying on our hands today. And my setup is very much geared towards the dry. I think I've got 10 ballast on for this. So I'm not really expecting much, but the main points are available in the race. Obviously, you get a few qualifying points, but even if I had put on a better setup, I've no chance of me qualifying in the top 3. This league is insanely competitive. As you can see, the lap hasn't been great. Power sliding through Dunlop. That's really not the ideal line, and through Degner we got it quite wrong, it must be said. So yeah, not the greatest, but we're currently sitting in 7th. We've only got 10 people this week, I think, so not been my strongest showing, it must be said, but I haven't played the game for like 3 weeks before this. And pretty much everyone who's racing is better than me at the game. That's the sad thing to say. I'm not very good at this game in comparison with the last game, but I'll do my best to try and get a few points. As you can see, I'm in the Ferrari. I'm teammates with Leopard, who's currently winning the Drivers' Championship, and I need to try and get us a few points and maybe have a shot at the Constructors. Not really sure at this stage, but yeah, coming towards the end of the lap, it's not been great. We are slightly up on our personal best, but we're miles off the current pole time as we do 130 out flat, even in the full wet, as we break it down into the last chicane. Mounting the curb there, maybe a bit too much curb, and yet more wheel spin on the exit. More wheel spin, almost hitting the pit wall, and again. So yeah, not the greatest lap, and we stay 7th, but we're demoted to 8th. Leopard really didn't have a very good qualifying, only just beating me there, and we only beat 2 people, and one of them was Bobbits, who didn't set a time. So you can see the strategy. We're going to start on the softs. I think soft, super soft is definitely possible, so we're going to try and do that. No rain in the race, which is definitely a positive. And just looking at the setup there, I didn't think it was a great setup, but I didn't really want to change it. I didn't do a huge amount of practice before the race and didn't want to put on something that might be worse. So we're sticking with that. And as you can see behind us, Pickles has gone on the super softs. Leopards as well, taking the softs in front of us. We have 5 lights, and I've got a terrible start, just 2 low revs there. And by the time I realised it was too late, we've been passed by both Pickles and Bulbits heading into turn 1, which will at least allow us to hang back and keep it clean. Everyone's kept it clean, which is obviously good, because safety car is turned off because it's broken. Imagine my shock. So if you do get damaged, it'll be very difficult to make up the time. But we're having a look around the outside of Bobbits here, as it's all very tight still. And we managed to get the move done, but we have to back off there because Pickles has actually just spun off the back of Leopard. But we managed to get the cut back through Dunlop, and we're going to maybe have a look around the outside of Degner 1. This will be incredible if we can pull it off. We leave him space, and he indeed backs out. And that is quite an impressive move, if I do say so myself, around the outside of Degner 1, which has allowed us to retain our starting position despite briefly dropping back to 10th. And now it's Leopard in front of us once again, also on the soft tyres, so hopefully he can force his way through the field and I can try and follow him to try and get some constructors points. He's stuck behind, I think it's Reynolds at the moment, in the Mercedes, as that's not very good, is it? So yeah, that's a warning. We'll be trying not to get too many of those because obviously we don't want a penalty. I don't think many people will get a penalty around this track. It's not really a corner cutting track, as we now head to 130. I easily fat in the dry even on a full tank of fuel, and nothing to worry about there as we head down now to the casting track. And we're quite late on the brakes, but that's allowed us to close up to Leopard. And Taylor's having a look at Jork, I think, on the run down the pit straight. Joe's managed to take the lead off the start, but that's pretty much it for that one. Taylor and Jork going side by side. Leopard having a look, but nothing doing there, and Jork maintains position, who's just trying to help Luke get away up in the top 4 and push for the podium as we now head to the end of lap 2. back into the Castillo Triangle. I've kept with Leopard. Taylor and Jork are going side by side through the chicane. Leopard's got an incredible one. There's no space there, my friend, as Jork aggressively blocks them off, but he's managed to force the space. It's going to almost 3 wide. Jork manages to get back ahead. We're in the slipstream. We're going to back off there as we head into turn 1. But no, we misanticipated Taylor's speed there. I don't think that's a word, but we'll go with it. And we've just tripped off a bit of our front wing. As you can see now, that's also not ideal. We managed to get a penalty already. The understeer is horrible. We're just going to back out of it here to let Bobbitts through, because there's no point holding him up. And we're now going to have to do a whole lap with damaged front wing. And around a track like Japan, there is no benefit whatsoever. You have to pit as soon as it happens. So we're going to be pitting at the end of this lap as we head through the Degners. Actually not negotiating them too badly, but there's a bit of gravel being thrown out. As you can see, it's now the silent mole in front of us, so Luke's clearly made a mistake into Degner 2. He made a similar mistake in practice and destroyed his car, but this time he's got away with it, but he's dropped well out of contention from where he was up in the top 4. That's getting to the end of the lap and coming into pit, slowing it down nicely. Don't want to get a drive through to add to our miseries of already having to make an extra pit stop. We're going to go on to the mediums, I think, and maybe try and go to the end, but 24 laps, it's not looking likely, and we'll get released from the box there. We're a long way behind, but we have to hope people are on the 2 stop, or we can in fact make the mediums last to the end. But even then, people behind us will be much quicker and probably better tyres. So it's looking for an uphill struggle unless there's another crash to finish anywhere higher than 10th. But obviously we're not going to retire, because I don't really see that as a positive outlook. So we're going to do our best, just drive around by ourselves for a bit, and as we skip on to the end of lap 6. Taylor has also had an incident. I think it was a lag incident, and we're going to go past him there. So we're not last, and we now have a friend to battle with, although I expect Taylor will be considerably quicker than me, but we'll give it our best shot. Getting to the end of the next lap, Taylor hasn't really caught us up, and I was quite surprised at this point in the race. But as you can see, if you look at the mini-map, Taylor's left his front wing change on auto on the previous lap clearly, and it hasn't changed yet, which is something that I really hope gets changed, because if you've got damage and you come into the pits, you basically want it changed. But Co-Masters won't listen probably. But yeah, so Taylor's well out of contention, so we should beat him unless disaster strikes. And as you can see on lap 10 now, we've actually passed Pickles as well as Jesus. That's a lot of oversteer through turn 1. But yeah, we passed Pickles and we're up into P8. But Pickles has got a slipstream now as we head down to Spoon. I'm playing with my fuel mix and I've not really noticed Pickles there going up the inside. And I've messed up my raid quite anyway, so we're just going to let him through there on the exit of Spoon, because that was potentially dodgy defending, which we don't really want to be getting punished for. It's not really worth it. He was probably going to pass us anyway, given how long is left in the race, but due to taking the wide line off the track to Spoon and having slipstream, we're rather close to Pickles again as we head into the final chicane, and we will as a result have DRS down the pit straight. So we're going to give it a go. There's no point, there's no harm trying to fight him as we're getting the slipstream now. Closing up to McLaren, he's going very defensive. We're going to try and go around the outside into turn 1 unless we can get fully ahead. I don't think we'll be able to pull this off, and we can't. We back off there, but we've carried too much speed into turn 2, and it's another mistake there, and that's more front wing gone, and it is very poor for myself, it must be said. Just mistakes like this that I haven't really been making in the few league races that I have done in the F1 League. Monza I drove quite well, which was the one I did as a reserve, which I didn't record in the Formula Xbox. Actually, Formula Xbox we won't talk about, but I made quite a few mistakes in the last few races in there, so maybe not so uncharacteristic, these mistakes. But we're coming in again, because obviously there's no point driving around without front wing. We're putting on the softs, and we are actually now going to go to the end of these tyres. Melanie told me the strat was possible, so it's going to be 16 laps on these tyres. I'm sure it's manageable, and we probably will drop behind Reynolds, but he has to pit again. I'm very confident, given that he's on the soft, so he pitted on lap 7, so the tyres will be screaming at the end, especially as he's been pushing. He has been sending fastest laps. So we are back down to last, but I think we will beat Reynolds. And as you can see, we've actually caught him by the end of the next lap. We were going for fastest lap, but Reynolds has prevented that, and he's basically just slowed down to battle me because he was bored, is what I gathered after the race. So that was nice of him. Hopefully we can have a good battle. He goes defensive into turn 1, but we're going to learn from our mistakes, I think. Yeah, we backed out of that one, but still carrying much more speed into turn 2, which could have resulted in more contact, but unable to get the move done there. But we're sticking with him as we skip later on lap 14 into Spoon, as we've been quite aggressive through the second part there, but nothing doing. That's probably actually hindered us more than it's helped us, as we got a poor exit from there. Although the slipstream is bringing us a bit closer to Reynolds as we head to 130R. We might go for a move into the Castro triangle. We're actually pretty close. He goes defensive but then goes back to the outside, which becomes the inside. So we're going to try and go around the outside of the chicane. Surely not. And indeed we have run the outside of the last chicane there. Very impressive move, and I think we'll even get DRS ourselves, which just rubs salt in the wound for Reynolds. I'm not sure if he fought that as hard as he might have done, given that he was just wanting to have a battle really, but we'll claim the move anyway. That's overtake number 2, which was impressive for this race, including the one on Bogarts and Degner 1. And as you can see, skipping up 3 laps later, Taylor's got an incredible exit off the last chicane, and he's cut it, basically, to get close to me, which I wasn't best pleased with at the time, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of fun, really, given we're at the back. He probably got a penalty for it. We managed to just about hold the position into turn 1 despite more oversteer, as we now head later on onto lap 18, and we've really balls that up, getting on the curb as well, so he can't get the power down. Taylor's got a much better run out of Spoon there, and we're going to go side by side up towards 130R. He doesn't have the slipstream as he's alongside, but he should have the overspeed on the better exit, and as you can see, he is pulling ahead, but I'm keeping my foot in. We're going to go side by side through 130R. Good respect from both of us, leaving each other's space. I'm going to try and go around the outside of the chicane again, but I think I've gone in too deep this time. And indeed, I have. Taylor managed to hold it around the outside. Who will have DRS? I've not got DRS, but as you can see, neither does Taylor. We haven't got DRS, either of us, as we now head down towards turn 1, getting in the slipstream once again. And we're going to try and pull out around the outside, but no, nothing doing there. But he's made a mistake. Probably got some oversteer into turn 2, and it's not as easy to correct on the pad as it is on the wheel. And that's pretty much game over for this battle, I think. His tyres were starting to wear out. He's been pushing quite hard. And we now have got him out of DRS, so unless he decides to straight line some chicanes again, I think we should be all good for 9th. But as you can see, it's now Jork ahead of us. The gap is basically 14 seconds. He unfortunately disconnected at some point, and he's only just got back in. But we're pushing quite hard at this point, just in case we can catch him. As you can see, by the end of the lap, it's 11.5, so I'm thinking at this point, is he actually back in his car? I've seen him rejoin the session, but I'm guessing due to the fact that we're closing at 2 seconds a lap, as you can see, 8.0 there, so that was 3.5 seconds on that lap. So I'm guessing he's not actually in his car at this point on the for some reason. I don't really understand why. This game's quite questionable. Taylor's pit for super sauce, by the way, so the battle's now well and truly over. We only gained 6/10 on Jordan that lap, and I think on this lap he actually pulled out the gap as I started to tyre save, and yeah, it's back up to 8.3. So basically what happened is Jordan had a glitch when he rejoined where the car just felt really weird, and it was like 3 seconds a lap slower, but then it suddenly fixed itself and he was doing normal lap times again. Off that lap the gap came pretty consistent at around 8 seconds, so I couldn't really catch him, sadly, but obviously I wouldn't have deserved it. He'd done a much better race than me, so it was just unfortunately he had that glitch. But as you can see, end of lap 25, Taylor's pit again for another set of super softs, so we decided to have our fastest lap race and see if I can claim fastest lap in this race, as is the standard thing. I've done quite a lot on this game. So coming round to start lap 27, this is my fastest lap of the race, so we're going to ride on board with it. We almost got lapped actually by Leopard, who took the win, so congratulations to him, but not quite, and we will in fact do this final lap on the super soft tyres. We've got enough rich mix fuel mix to do all of it. That was incredible English. As you can see, coming through the S's, this is sort of what a qualifying lap would look like, minus DRS, and the fact it's probably quite slow because it's me driving it. But yeah, pretty solid first sector, no major moments, unlike on our actual qualifying lap in the wet. As we now head down to Degner 1, we're taking that flat in 7th gear, as you can on the wheel, on low fuel. And we've managed to nail Degner 2 as well, pretty much. Now coming up to one of the worst corners on the calendar, along with the hairpin at Mexico, the hairpin at Canada, and literally every hairpin on the game. They're all garbage. But we've actually done it surprisingly well. This lap's looking pretty solid at the moment. As we can see at the hairpin, there's spoon rather, there's a car stopped, and that's Taylor doing donuts. So the fastest lap shouldn't be too difficult to obtain as he stays off the racing line there, allowing us to continue on our way towards the end of Sector 2, where we'll see if we are still purple right about now, and indeed we are purple sector as well as it comes up on the map. So we're going to head into the Cassian Triangle now. At this point I was wondering if Taylor was going to straight line the last chicane or something for the Bants, but he doesn't. We've taken the chicane quite well actually, and we're going to go straight, oh no, we're just going to take them, oh no, straight to the line there. And it is the fastest lap of the race. I can't see it because the preview's so small. But yeah, it's 9th place for us. Not the greatest race, it must be said, on my comeback to the F1 League full time, but as Taylor bins it in the wall there. But you learn from these things, and I'm hoping to have a better race next time out. My pace wasn't actually too bad, which is encouraging, so if I can just avoid the silly little incidents which are damaging my front wing, maybe I can get up and amongst it with the guys in the top 5, but unless something crazy happens, I doubt a podium will occur, but you never know. As you can see, the podium Leopard on the top step. Great drive from him, 7th to 1st rather. I think it's Melanie 2nd, so well done to him as well. And Joe, who managed to hold off Kay, despite having inferior tyres for the whole of the second stint in terms of he was on the mediums and Kay was on the softs. So congrats to those guys. Leopard extends his championship lead because Taylor finished at the back and Luke finished 4th, I think. The results should be on screen about now. So you can pause it if you want. It was Kay in 4th, Luke 5th, Bob at 6th, Pickle 7th, Jork 8th, myself 9th. A few penalties there with Taylor 10th. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. I'll see you next week for the USA Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.